Hi and welcome to the Beer Temple. I am Chris Quinn and I am joined by my lovely wife, Margaret Quinn.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. And
You're all choked up.
I'm all choked
Just
up.
thinking of how lovely I am.
Yes, that. I have a couple shout outs I owe people, but I forgot to write their names down, so I owe you guys shout outs for people who have left 5-star reviews. We are now, I think, officially the highest rated beer review podcast on iTunes.
Cool. That's
So,
awesome.
Thank you guys. Thanks a lot. And just the reviews that people leave are staggering. I mean, they're really, really nice. So thanks, guys. It means a lot to us. And as I always say, even if it's not on iTunes, let me know what you guys think, what you guys like or don't like about the show. As long as it's constructive, I appreciate it. Just don't hate, because then I'll just have to brush you off. That's just what I have to do to haters. Anyway, maybe I'll be hating on this in a moment.
I doubt it.
We got Founders Devil Dancer. This is their Triple IPA, a seasonal they put out once a year. Pretty pricey beer here. This comes in at about $5 or $6 per bottle. It's available in 4-packs, but it's upwards of $22, $23 a 4-pack.
Wow. Well, then, yeah, at that point, you really are competing with wine. I mean, you could get a pretty nice wine for $25, so that is a hefty price tag for a beer.
Yes, but it does have the alcohol of a wine. It's 12%, which is right in there, with in wine territory, and it's 112 IBU, which is pretty much the threshold, right around the threshold of what you can taste. A big, huge beer, one that actually ages rather well. You don't really think of hoppy beers being aged, but this thing is so big. Whenever you have so much hops, you have to have a lot of malt to back it up, and you have a ton of alcohol. It does lend itself to aging. And really, one of the only other, there aren't many beers that you can compare this to or put in this category of what you would call a triple IPA. You're starting to get towards the Dogfish 120 territory, stuff like that. Another beer that you can age. So it's just kind of an interesting, over-the-top style. But don't forget, as beers kind of get bigger, a lot of times you need to... Man, the cicadas are loud.
Yeah, they are.
You kind of have to get that malt backing to go with it, or it just doesn't taste good, So this beer, they just hop the hell out of this beer. I think they use, however many varietals, 10 varietals, something like that, and they dry hop it for something like a month.
Wow.
And my guess would be they're constantly pulling out hops and putting in new hops, so it's not the same hops just sitting there,
right?
Because they have a tendency to get kind of a vegetal taste to it.
That was gross.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Why don't you just dump it on the floor? It's just water. No, not on my head.
Oh. Anyway.
That's it.
Maybe that's what I need to apologize
We're
for.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's a bully.
So this beer was bottled on. Did you have something to say?
No.
You have something to say? This beer was bottled on the 18th of last month. So, actually 2 months ago.
Okay.
So we're about 6 weeks old, a little bit less, 5.5 weeks old. Pretty fresh.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, this is definitely a beer you could drink out of a snifter if you wanted. I'll give a little bit more. I'm going to be bringing it with me so people can taste
can
it.
smell it. I mean, as soon as you open the bottle, as soon as you started pouring it, obviously you get that, you can smell the hops from here, basically.
Yeah. Founders out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Pretty good distribution.
Yeah.
Especially towards the east. I know they distribute, so hopefully you guys can get this.
And Founders, Founders is a really cool place. Grand Rapids in general is a very cool town. We were out there about a year ago and we were very impressed with the town. It has a great beer culture, a lot of little places that you can check out while you're in Grand Rapids. So if you get the chance, definitely stop by Grand Rapids and Founders.
Yeah. I think we were just gassed.
We were just gassed.
I was gassed because I'm like, can I smell the beer from here like my wife can? I'm like, I smell something from here, but I hope it's not the beer.
Max just gassed us.
It was dog colon that I smelled.
It's in my mouth. It's actually,
so this will
in my mouth.
taint this. A very clear copper, like a deep copper red color, fluffy white head, quite a lot of carbonation. Sometimes when you get beers that are upwards of, over 10%. It's hard to keep them carbonated, but not the case here. Let me get, and then, so you can smell booze.
Yeah, you can
you
smell
can
booze.
get the burn in your nostril, and also just like some of those kind of rosy alcohol.
Yeah, definitely rosy, floral. You know, it's not the normal, like, okay, if you smell an IPA or a double IPA, you just have that huge smell of hops.
Yeah.
This has that, but it's also got a lot of something else as well. And I think you're absolutely right. That rosy smell.
There's a lot of everything. It's not the first thing you don't get booze first.
Right.
But I don't. So really, the first thing you get is the hops, but then you definitely get a big punch of kind of toffee caramel malt as well. You get a lot of kind of a spicy, earthy hop character.
Yeah, definitely some spice in that as well.
And then some kind of woody and a little bit of pine as well. You're not going tropics here really at all. But it's nice, and you are getting kind of that rose water and alcohol as well. You can tell this beer is kind of a heavy hitter.
I almost get like mintiness out of it, and I don't know. That might be that the sensation of the alcohol. You know, like it kind of gives me like a menthol type feeling. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what that was.
Yeah, I could see that, almost like a spearmint or peppermint or something. Yeah.
When I breathe out, it's like a cool, fresh flavor.
Huh. Wintergreen.
Yeah. A lot of hops in this one.
Yeah, you really notice that first is a lot of hop character here. Yeah.
Wow.
It's big and strong. There's a lot of malt. Wow, even as I'm talking, it's just getting more and more and more bitter. Not a dry beer. I mean, this beer's got quite a bit of sweetness as well.
You're right.
Nowhere near the level of 120. You know, in terms of how much malt sweetness there is here.
Yeah.
But overall, I'd say it's fairly balanced. It's hard to say anything's balanced when something's this bitter, but there's a ton of malt here.
Yeah, you're right.
Well.
You're right. There is. I mean, it's just so over the top, you know, and it's just the nature of I guess the style, if you will. It is what it is. It's just I think this is tough to drink in mass quantities. Like drinking a whole bottle of these would be tough, I think. And you guys are probably like, Margaret, you're a wuss, but
no,
it's so over the top. It's so floral. I mean, it's like drinking perfume in a way to me.
Well, and I think the alcohol has something to do with that as well. It's definitely alcoholic. So your tongue is being attacked, one, by the alcohol, which is kind of like a sharp taste. Two, by the bitterness, which is a sharp taste. Three, by that kind of that hoppy, they call it like the enamel stripping sensation that you get from hops. You get that here. And then on top of that, you do get kind of this rosy, floral, and then earthy, spicy, peppery.
Yeah.
And then underneath that, a lot of that kind of classic marmalade that you get from IPAs as well. Very complex beer. A lot going on. It is over the top. It's a sipping beer.
Yeah.
It's a beer you're probably going to serve, at cellar temperature or maybe even a little warmer.
And it's not that the flavor of the beer is bad. I mean, I actually really enjoy, I guess, the flavor. It's just, to me, it's just so concentrated that it's just a lot to take in.
It is. And I mean, really, I've heard beers say it's an assault on your tongue. This one kind of is. I mean, it's really kind of assaulting your palate with booze and bitterness, and then also, just like those big flavors in general. I've kind of said what I think of the beer. It works together, but I just think that it's not the most drinkable beer in the world. Not all beer should be drinkable, but even Imperial Stouts are more drinkable than this.
Well, I don't agree necessarily that all beer should not be should be drinkable or whatever you just said.
Don't have to be drinkable.
Well, isn't that the whole point of drinking?
Well, easy drinking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is Scotch drinkable? No, but it's worth drinking. I mean, it's not like you can just knock them back. You sip it and savor it and maybe have this bottle over the course of a half hour to 45 minutes.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I was thinking of drinkable in more literal terms. You were thinking of smooth.
I was thinking of a term I think Bud Light coined called drinkability. Apparently, it's what it's all about.
Right.
Or wait, that was 2 marketing campaigns ago. So
yeah, good. I mean, for me, judging this beer, it's really hard because it's got nice flavors. It's got a really nice aroma, but it is kind of heavy-handed. And
he's literally on the mic stand.
Okay, hopefully he doesn't move.
Yeah.
And it's a bit heavy-handed, but it's the nature of the beer. So for me, I have to go, I don't know, 90.
Yeah, I'll go 91. It's a good beer. It's very complex. How much am I enjoying it is what it's coming down to me. I can appreciate that there's a lot going on here. You know, would I grab this beer? You know, even without the price, you know, being a factor. Mm-hmm. You know, this versus like the double jack that we had.
Right.
No question.
Yeah, I totally agree.
In my mind.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So there you have it, Deviled Answer, for you guys who absolutely cannot get enough hops, cannot get enough bitterness, love those big beers. You know, also maybe if you're a fan of barley wine, something like that, this is kind of, they're starting to converge. You know, the American style barley wine and the IPA, you know, how it starts to kind of become blended. Mm-hmm. And really that's how some of these big double IPAs started from, was from these American barley wines. Mm-hmm. You know, this is kind of a further, you know, blurring of the lines. It's starting to creep towards barley wine territory. And that's why people age it.
Right.
There you have it, guys. Thanks a lot. Anything else you wanted to add, my dear?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, thank you so much, as always, for watching. Until next time, we've got some big beers to drink, and hopefully you do too.